So in today's video, I want to talk about 5 of some of the most important apartment hacks for buildings here in Dallas. And the reason why I wanted to make this is because I remember 5 years ago when I moved to Dallas, I thought that I knew everything. I thought that I could tour all of these buildings on my own and just make my own decision based upon whatever the website says or whatever videos I saw online. And if I would have known these 5 things, it would have made my search here in Dallas a lot easier. So make sure to stick around to the very end of the video because the 5th hack is by far the most important. And if this is your first time swinging by the channel, welcome. My name's Lucas. I'm an apartment locator here in Dallas, and every single day I get calls, texts, and emails from folks like you and 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 you, helping them find apartments and condos all throughout the Dallas area. So with that, let's go ahead and jump into the first hack. So hack number 1, one of the biggest challenges that I see with all the clients that reach out to me is getting approved for a unit, because most of the time when you're looking at a building here in Dallas, you're going to need to have 2.5 to 3x monthly income compared to the monthly rent. So let's say you're looking at a 1-bedroom unit that's $3,000 a month. You have to show this building either with pay stubs or bank statements that you're bringing in at least $9 grand a month. And like, this can be like a huge shock to people because maybe they don't make $9 grand, maybe they make $8,500. And there's a hack that you can use to get around this. And this is by using something called a guarantor. And a guarantor will be on your lease and can essentially sign that lease with you so that their pay stubs are included with yours so that you can qualify for the unit. And the guarantor typically is a close friend. Maybe it's a family member, mom, dad, sister, your cousin, someone that you can trust. And as long as you make sure that they understand that if for whatever reason, let's say you lose your job or maybe you get injured and you're unable to pay that rent, that guarantor will be expected to pay the rent on your behalf, God forbid something happens. And then there's another branch of this hack. And what I typically see is that sometimes folks don't have the highest credit score. And for apartment buildings here in Dallas, you need to have around 650 and up to get approved automatically. And if it's below that threshold, then they're going to require more documentation from you. And there is a way that you can kind of sidestep this, which is called getting a cosigner. A cosigner can be good to use if you have no rental history or if you just have no credit history or maybe lower credit. So if that cosigner, maybe it's a family member, a friend, mom, dad, cousin, aunt, uncle, grandma, their name will be on that lease with you to help boost the credit score for the unit. That cosigner can have their credit pulled as well alongside yours. So that way both of y'all can be evaluated in order to get into that unit. Not a lot of people know about the guarantor and the cosigner process. It always raises tons of questions, but it's the only way to get around having not enough income to meet the 2.5 to 3x rule, or by having no credit. This one seems obvious, but you would be surprised by the amount of people that are oblivious when they're not doing this. And it's very, very simple. Build a relationship with your leasing office or your property management team. These are the folks that are dictating what happens in the building. And ultimately, if you love that building and if you feel like you want to re-sign after your first lease, you're probably going to want to be on their good side. That leasing or property management team is going to be deciding how much they want to up your rent for your renewal. Let's say that you're at the gym and the leasing agent walks in and she's giving a tour. Smile, say hi, get on a first name basis with them. Feel free to wave when you're walking by the leasing office. Get to know them, ask them about their dog, ask them about their family. Go to the resident events. Oftentimes there's food, there's drinks, there's music, and it is a great time to, one, get to know other residents and make some friends, but also build that and strengthen that relationship with that leasing team who is ultimately going to be deciding on your renewal. And don't get it twisted. I'm not going to say that this is going to work 100% of the time. Sometimes a building just has to increase your rent by X amount. But just think about this for a second. You just hit your 60-day renewal window. The leasing office sees your name come across their screen and they're able to put a face to the name, and they're trying to decide, okay, Stacy is currently paying $2,000 a month for her 1-bedroom. We know Stacy, she comes to the events, she's a pleasure to be with, she adds to the culture of the building, she's the type of person that we want to stay here, and they might up Stacy's rent by $75. It could be $300. I've seen some rent increases upon renewal go upwards of $700 a month. And the majority of the time, the building is just making a business decision, so I don't want it to sound like they're gonna raise the rent higher for people that they don't like and raise the rent lower for people that they do like. But if you build a relationship with that leasing office and those leasing agent, it can only help you at the end of the day. And for someone like me, I'm relatively extroverted. I'm always shaking hands, kissing babies, smiling, laughing, joking, waving. I know the majority of the people that live at my building. I know the entire leasing team. Obviously, I'm a locator, so I know them for those reasons. But even if I wasn't a locator, I would still know them and they would know me. So my challenge for you introverts, or maybe you don't like to leave your unit a lot, put your best foot forward, do the best you can to get to know these folks that are in the office, because ultimately I believe that that could help if you love the building and want to renew. Hack number 4 that I wish I would have known, and this one's near and dear to my heart because I feel like I slipped when I chose my very first apartment unit when I moved to Dallas like 5 years ago. I found a building, I loved it, I wanted to renew, and I accepted the first renewal offer that they had given me. I think back during that time, it was like 2020, and the apartment unit that I signed up for was like $1,900. I got a crazy deal just because I had moved in during COVID. They paid for my movers. They gave me 8 weeks free. They credited back my application fee and admin fee. I don't even think I paid a deposit, but I love this building so much that when I hit my 60-day notice, they sent me the renewal offer, which was like $300 higher. So my rent went from $1,900 to $2,200, and I accepted it just because I loved the building. I didn't really think much of it. And if I could go back in time, I think what I would have done is waited a little bit longer, kept my cards a little bit closer to my chest, maybe not have appeared so excited to re-sign, because at the end of the day, these leasing agents, they're salespeople. They want to incentivize you to stay in the building, especially if you're a good resident and if you fit the culture and if you're low maintenance and if you're easygoing and easy to get along with. Trust me, if you are like that, they're going to want to keep you at that building, and they will keep you there by any means necessary. And then this was when I learned my lesson, was when I was going upon my second renewal, essentially trying to figure out if I was going to re-sign for year 3 at that same exact building. And I knew for a fact that I wasn't going to be resigning because I had just gotten a job transfer to go back to Houston. And I remember getting on the phone with those leasing agents and telling them at first, yeah, I'm not sure, I might be going to Houston. And they're, oh, well, let us know. We might be able to work with you a little bit. I think at that point they were going to try to increase me like $500 more bucks. And I was like, absolutely not. And they kept following up with me, texting me, emailing me, hey, is there anything we can do? Just because I wasn't giving them an answer, I was just kind of waiting until I got that transfer letter. Then when I finally got that job transfer letter, I called them to break the news that I wouldn't be resigning. And they literally said, where do you need to be? What do we have to do to keep you? And I think what I learned from that is that buildings in general here in Dallas, they're gonna work with you. So do not ever accept that first renewal offer. Wait a little bit. There's nothing wrong with letting them sweat. Again, they're salespeople. They're used to sweating. And if you act like you have other options and that you're touring other buildings, just naturally, they're gonna wanna work with you, especially if you are a resident that they want to keep. So then the 5th and the final hack, I don't even know if I wanna share this with you, but me and my dog are feeling generous. So I got my dog with me right here. That's my boy Biggie. And we are about to put you in the paint. And I've been debating on if I even wanna share this, but I believe that value that is given always gets returned. Biggest hacks that people don't often realize is the fact that you can transfer to a different unit 6 months into your lease. And I can just give you an example on why you would do this. Let's say you're on the search for an apartment building. You find the perfect building. It's got the best view, best amenities, the best culture. You get a great vibe from the leasing team and the property management company. It smells good, it's bright, you love the finishes, you love the countertops, you literally love everything about the building, but the unit that you want is not available. And a lot of people don't know this, but what you can do is just get into the building. Sign up for a unit. Maybe you initially wanted a 1-bedroom with a den, but there's only a 1-bedroom available. Just take the 1-bedroom, because what you can do is 6 months into that lease, you can then transfer to that 1 bedroom with a den once it becomes available. Now, the caveat to this is that your lease will restart once you transfer at that 6-month mark. So you will re-sign a 12-month lease. So think of that as a little hack that you can use if you find the perfect building that's in the perfect area, but you just don't quite have the perfect unit due to your time frame and the availability of the building. You can use that to your advantage, and the leasing office will know your name. They'll know the floor plan that you really want. And if it's a good leasing agent, she will be hawking all of these apartment units as people in the building are renewing or deciding not to renew, and they can proactively reach out to you when your perfect unit becomes available. Man, I've been giving y'all so much value. Friday afternoon, we're about to go hang the cleats up, and that is going to wrap us up with the 5 apartment hacks for Dallas. So if you're still looking for a building, if you need tips and tricks, advice, hacks, all of my information is below in the description, and I would be more than happy to help you make a smooth transition to another building here in Dallas, Texas. So with that, y'all stay out of trouble, y'all stay safe, and we'll see you in the next video. Y'all be good.